Well, good morning, everyone. Just on my way to the gym. I hope everyone so far has had a good week. I hope everyone's staying warm. A lot of the country is freezing cold. Right now, it's a nice balmy 5 degrees here in Maineville, Ohio. So, obviously, I wanted to take a little bit of time. I wanted to get something out last night when the news broke that Marvin Lewis is returning to the Cincinnati Bengals after signing a 2-year contract. But I figured I'd kind of let it sit a little bit. I didn't want to come right out. But this is an interesting, this one's an interesting signing. You can definitely tell this has Mike Brown written all over it. The whole Mike Brown relationship with Marvin Lewis it's interesting. It's one that we haven't seen out of this football team, this franchise, in a while, if ever. Just the relationship that the owner has with the coach. This is something, like I said, when Marvin came in, he pretty much got almost complete control there for a while. But that right there, just that kind of added to everything that we have going on right now. Just that relationship has been solidified so much. To the point where, Marvin is, he's been here 15 years already, and he's not going anywhere. That's what's amazing about this whole thing, is the fact that, after the season that they had, and we expected change, and we're not getting that. I'm honestly, I'm pretty surprised by that. I really felt that the time to move on was now. Actually, I felt the time to move on was a couple years ago. I've always been a Marvin Lewis backer. That's one thing that's always been, I've always been with him. I think he's done a lot, and I've said it numerous times on any of the podcasts that I do. But this one, I felt the time to move on was now. However, with the fact that with Marvin re-signing, here's a couple things that I feel that have to happen. It's very simple. That control has to come back to Marvin Lewis. That's one of the key things. If Marvin can continue to have that control in that front office and work as the so-called GM, because that was the case originally when he took over. Things obviously kind of slipped a little bit. And you've seen a lot more of Katie Blackburn and obviously Mike Brown still with with that control there. If Marvin has full control, then this could work out. If not, it's going to be a lot of the same old. There obviously has to be a lot of change within the coaching staff. Right now, it's been rumored that Paul Guenther is out as defensive coordinator. That's the case. Guenther sounds like he might be going to Oakland to join John Gruden's staff if the whole Gruden thing does pan out like they're saying. But it's long rumored that Guenther's going out west. I'm fine with that. Even though Guenther has done a pretty solid job here with this defense. A name I keep hearing. At least that's one name I've heard, is Jack Del Rio, and I think he would be fantastic joining Marvin's staff. He is a retread as a head coach, so I don't know how many looks he will get, but having him join as a defensive coordinator would be, simply amazing. But with all the coaching staff, with all their contracts, pretty much, they're all free agents right now at this point in time. Everything's wide open now, and that's going to be the interesting part is how they go about it and which coaches do return. Listening to Giovanni Bernard on Bengals Line last night was really good stuff. Talking about Kyle Kasky as the running backs coach. He's a fantastic coach. A lot of guys like him. But the one thing about Marvin is Marvin is a player's coach, and that is one thing that with Marvin Lewis being a player's coach, players they're gonna play for him. They're gonna go balls out for their coach, and that's what they did, right? Like I said, right at the end of the year, And this team looked like they had quit. I mean, they quit, flat out quit in that Chicago game. Now, I don't know what the circumstances surrounding that were, but they came back and they fought their asses off against two teams that were looking to get into the playoffs. Hey, what's up, Kyle? How you doing, man? But they were able to knock off a good Lions team and a good Ravens team. The Ravens, I think, were a little more overrated than a lot of people were thinking. A lot of people, I think, had them higher than what they were. The Ravens were, okay, I think, throughout this entire season. They weren't, overly great in a weak AFC. I don't think the AFC is as strong as many people think. But it's going to be, obviously, it'll play out here in the playoffs. But this team never gave up. They went out there and they played hard for their coach, who looked to be a lame duck coach. And I got to give him credit. Like I said, if you look at what Marvin Lewis has done in his tenure here in Cincinnati, it's been definitely a lot of ups and downs. The only demands I have, if he's going to come back, then I want to see a little more toughness out of him as a head coach. It's obviously with him being a player's coach, he doesn't quite have the motivational aspects to get his guys raring to go every game. And that's obviously been evident. You can tell by basically by the playoff record and their primetime record. They just do not get it done, plain and simple. That has to change. If you can get that to change, then that if you're able to get that as a change, then I think you're going to be in a good spot, and you're going to see. I think you could see a change out of this team. But it just plain and simple you got to have some motivation. Got to be able to make some adjustments. And but it does. It comes down to the control factor. Cal, I like what you said here on this comment there. But it does. If Marvin Lewis has the control, then you're going to see, because the Bengals, one thing that they've been able to do is draft very well during their tenure, during the Marvin Lewis era. They've drafted very, very well. Obviously, not every draft pick is going to be a home run. You're going to have some duds. You're going to have some flyouts, some pop outs, and even some swing and misses, and that's going to happen. But the majority of the draft picks have been solid, and that's one thing that I think you're going to continue to see here. But like I said, it comes down to the fact that there has to be some change, and a lot of that is going to come down to how they handle the coaching staff and what guys do return and what guys return and what guys come in, because there is a chance that with the talent that this team has, this team could go on another run again. You got a franchise quarterback who. He's our franchise quarterback, but he's not going to, like I said, and I've said it numerous times, he's not going to go out there and win you a Super Bowl, but he's not going to go out there and lose you one the majority of the time. So you've got a good quarterback, you got a solid quarterback. You've got, you got talent all around in the skill positions, especially the running back position. You've got Joe Mixon, who's going to be a star in this league. You've got A.J. Green. John Ross, again, another name that we would continue to question on what he's going to be. If he can pan out like we're hoping he will pan out, then, you're going to be in, you've got another guy who's going to be opposite of A.J. Green, who is going to be up for contract here in a couple years. So that's crucial. There's just a lot of questions that are surrounding this deal. And I know a lot of people, this is where I'm going to kind of go on a rant here right now. I've seen a lot of people saying that they're going to, give up their season tickets and no longer root for the Bengals or anything like that. Come on now. Then you were never a loyal, true fan to begin with. And if, yeah, we've been through some crap with this franchise for a while. But you know what? The last couple years, last few years under Marvin Lewis have not been crap. Now, obviously, the last couple we've had a couple losing seasons. That's going to happen. Not every year is going to be a winning year. But remember that joy that we had as Bengal fans when we were, at the top of our game. There was a couple years, I truly believe that the 2005 year with Carson Palmer, I truly felt that was a Super Bowl team. It unfortunately happened that Carson was injured, Chris Henry was injured. Those things happen. Unfortunately, that's part of it. But it again, that's part of the game. That's just what happens. So, but we've got talent here, and I know a lot of people are upset about this move, but continuity that's Mike Brown's biggest thing. Loyalty is that could be their downfall. This move could come crashing down again, and we look awful the next 2 years. I don't think that's going to happen. Again, these guys love playing for Marvin. The continuity. You got the same voice now as head coach for another 2 years. But I think this is going to symbolize, I truly believe, Mike Brown's last big move as the owner or president of this team. I think that this is going to be it for him. But it's going to be interesting to see what plays out here in the next few months, to see exactly how everything lines up, see if they spend any money. I'm trying to get that shadow out of my face. See what they do in free agency. They've never been a free agent. They've never been a franchise that goes out and gets guys on the free agent market. The Brandon LaFell one, like I said, that was kind of a rare signing. They do like to sign their own guys. That's one thing that we've seen for a long, long time with this team is, again, the continuity, and that's the biggest phrase here in this whole thing. So this is going to be an interesting next few years. I know a lot of people are mad, but you know what, though? Like I said, giving up your season tickets, saying you're going to root for the Steelers or the Ravens or the Browns or whatever. Come on now, that's just the kind of stuff that that to me that's ridiculous, if you ask me. I've been with this team thick and thin. We had the season tickets, for their. My family's had them for years, and I've suffered through many of the games during the Shula Coslet era. The year where they were 2-14. Guess who was down there? I was. And I'm not saying I'm a better fan or anyone. I'm better than you guys, because I'm not. I'm just an average guy, who likes to talk about his team. But I'm also going to support this team no matter what. Because, no matter what, it's not going to change. If you give up your season tickets, it's not going to change. And that will not change anything. It's not going to change Mike Brown's mentality on it. What we have is what we have with Mike Brown. And but you know what, though? He's done a really good job of giving up some of that control and giving it to Marvin Lewis. So, what? It's not all's not lost there. That's one thing we have to remember. But let's not all be jumping off the bridge here at the re-signing of Marvin Lewis. Let's take a step back, continue to support this team, because you know what, damn it, we've got a pretty good football team. A football team that suffered a lot of injuries and had some key pieces out. But you know what? If we continue to support this team, and we get some more talent, get some more quality coaching around these guys, then you know what, we'll see what's going to happen. I truly believe that this is definitely a perennial playoff team, and I'm not going to change my stance on that. I think this team is going to go nowhere but up, and I believe that they will continue to go up. But it's one of those things that they have to. They just got to continue to get it rolling, and once they do, we saw the way this team played at the end of the year, and that's one thing that they can bring that. Every game, and if they do, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. And but again, it comes down to Marvin Lewis, and him being able to change his not coaching style completely, but he does have to give up a few things. He's got to change a few things, and if he does, we'll see. We'll go from there. But like I said, all's not lost with this signing. I truly think that we're going to be in a good spot. It's going to be. I'm curious to see what's actually going to go on now. Again, got to make the right changes, and we're going to continue to go from there. So once you kind of go once you get the proper pieces in place, you got the draft coming up. Hey, this, we could be in good shape here coming into 2018. Like I said, we've got the talent around Andy Dalton. The offensive line obviously started to pick it up. But again, you can obviously tell this is a Mike Brown move. And with that being the case, it's all you can do is say, okay. Again, you not spending another dime at the stadium is not going to do anything. You got to remember, a lot of these, with the blackout restrictions lifted, that's not going to change anything. None of that. It's not going to hit Mike Brown in the pocketbook. I'm sorry, it's just not. The money's still there, but again, it's just. I'm a little surprised. Like I said, I'm kind of taking a step back here, and I'm rambling here, but it's odd that I really thought that the time was it was over. The only one of the things I can't stand about Marvin is the fact that he's definitely smug, and that's that's how he approached this press conference too at the end of the season. He was very smug again, and he just had that smirk on his face when he was talking about the him returning and everything like that. You could just tell that he was ready to he knew he was coming back, and that's the kind of thing that the way he handled everything was a little not up to my liking. But hey, again, that's what we've dealt with Marvin for years. So but again, if this team goes to the playoffs and they even go to the AFC Championship next year or the year after that, it's none of this is going to be an issue. Everyone will be, I've always loved Marvin Lewis. So that's just kind of what we're dealing with there. But again, I'm rambling on. So getting ready. Just kind of want to get my thoughts out here on this. But again, I'm going to be doing a kind of a season wrap up, I guess, kind of going game by game on that. But I want to get my thoughts out on this. But again, like I said, I want to take a little step back and not do the video immediately last night, because I had so many different emotions going through my mind and everything like that. But as always, I'm going to wrap it up now. But thank you guys so much for your support again. I love doing these kind of videos. But again, with especially here in Cincinnati, you never know what you're going to get. But things change so rapidly here. And one thing I guarantee, though, with the lack of season ticket movement, that people are saying, it's got to make the people at FC Cincinnati happy, because I got a feeling a lot of those guys are going to be going over to FC Cincinnati. And by all means, hop on that bandwagon, folks, because the boys in orange and blue they're a lot of fun. So, but again, as always, thank you guys so much for your support. Check out my YouTube page. That's where all my other videos go. In regards to post-game videos, and even like the little podcast, the Chris Asbrock Show that I do. It's all up there. Thank you guys, as always. Check out the YouTube page, like I said. The website, feeltheimpactsports.com. I'm actually working on a couple articles right now. I'm hoping to have those up here. Now that I'm going to have a little bit more free time, hoping to get those up here soon. Trying to think if there's anything else. As always, follow me on Twitter at I am Chris Asbrock. And again, thank you guys again so much for your support. It's truly appreciated. And have you guys a safe day. And as always, stay warm and take care. And we'll be back soon.